why should I be offended by this? Like, it kind of makes sense. You didn't get the gig. Please don't leave. Here's money.
Okay, so this is Wells Fargo analyst Mike Mayo, by the way, who made this criticism. He is saying that, and he's well known, you know, he pulls his punches, and he asks the difficult questions, right? And he says that this 20 million award to each of the executives, the incoming CEO Ted Pick and his co-deputies Andy Saperstein and Dan Simkowitz, it actually possibly raises questions that they're staying more for the compensation than the culture. Now, a couple of things here. Retention rewards are not uncommon among leadership in Wall Street. Jamie Dimon, the JP Morgan CEO, in 2021, he got awarded stock appreciation rights to stay for several years more. And that, of course, gives him a cut of the upside of any share price gain. Now, he is handsomely paid, so it's hard to argue that necessarily the money is really a motivation. And when you look at the actual average annual compensation of these three Morgan Stanley executives, well, it is 20 million. It sort of matches the bonus. So again, it's kind of hard to argue that money is necessarily the motivation. But that aside, this is a tough time for banking. The M&A market still hasn't bounced back. Banks are navigating higher interest rates and inflation. So leadership and talented leadership is going to have a premium. And there's one more interesting thing about the Morgan Stanley situation, in that James Gorman, in engineering his transition, he wanted a bloodless handover. So he wanted any candidates who didn't get the top job to stay. And this is perhaps part of that transition, because messy handovers, which result in infighting and sort of difficulties in that way, they can actually derail a company's performance.
Sally, are investors going to take this to heart? Is this going to become an issue, or is this just Mike making a little bit of noise?
I don't think investors will take this too much to heart. I think there was an initial share drop on Friday, but I think Morgan Stanley actually had quite a tough third quarter. Its investment banking fees dropped the most of its Wall Street peers. Wealth management, which has been a key focus of James Gorman's transformation, actually the unit saw the slowest inflows in 3 years. So I think shareholders care more about whether incoming CEO Ted Pick can continue James Gorman's strategy and navigate this slightly complicated period.